We have the ruling elites and we have the others. Just many people cannot see that because they cannot imagine anything different. The official narrative that we're given is quite provably wrong. Can the world get much crazier? All politicians, folks, they simply don't look at the world through clear enough eyes. Or maybe they do. Maybe they see it and maybe they just do what they can to make sure others don't. But, a lot of the rhetoric they push, is nothing that's ever going to lead to freedom. You're not going to find any remedy in politics. The whole political system is a complete joke. And it's designed to be that way. And to tie us up in all this rhetoric and make us actually think that it means something and make us actually think that we're making a difference by voting and supporting different candidates and different puppets that they put up there. But essentially every single one of them is a puppet. And they've done it in such a way as to make it all believable and just to make it all flow the way they want it to flow by attaching the correct type of conspiratorial and pseudo-intellectual ambience to the entire operation. So much of the independent media has been designed to actually release information for the powers that believe they be in order to set the correct psychological mindset for people, in order for people to be able to even accept what is being rolled out around them through predictive programming and what the purpose has been in the whole thing. You really got to look at how all this has been put together, folks, and wonder how many times it's been done before. This is when you start looking at this sort of stuff and you can apply the situation that we're in today to the history of the world, and you can question whether this has been done many, many times. Is that why the legends exist? The legends of the scrying mirrors and the beast system. And in the world that we've got today, there's very few people that are even interested in history. Well, people may be interested in it, but they simply don't have time to look because they're too busy running on the treadmill. And as we see this economic system become more and more retarded, in as much as retarding human ability to function, which is what it's doing. As the price of everything goes up, we have to run harder and harder on the treadmill in order to meet the everyday needs of life, in order to collect the credits we need to pay to be alive. So we don't really get a chance to look at this. And when most people do look at history and they try to figure out what's going on, they go to academic circles and they go through that method. They never really think about what it really means to be a human being, what it would really mean to be completely free of this economic system, to even imagine a time where there wasn't an economic system, which is a really alien thing for many people to think about. Many people cannot even imagine a world without money, how the world could possibly function without money. Well, the world that we got now would not function without money, but this world that we've got now is not anything that serves humankind at all. That's the problem. Just many people cannot see that because they cannot imagine anything different, simply because of what they've grown up into. Better the devil you know, and the familiarity of the system. People don't really have to think about their lives too much. Even if we think we are heading into a system where we're all becoming automatons enslaved to AI and becoming little drones, in many ways we already are, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't think about our own survival in any real type of way. The only way we really think about our survival is how many credits we can achieve and collect so that we can go and buy things from supermarkets and buy all this stuff that we think we need, which we don't. And none of it is about life. None of it is about us. That's when history becomes important. The official narrative that we're given is quite provably wrong. And not only is it wrong, it's not wrong because people have simply made mistakes and got the idea wrong and gone in the wrong direction. And as much as many people may not want to admit it, there comes a point where you have to realize that the reason it's so wrong is because it's been deliberately falsified. And that's a reasonably uncomfortable reality for many people to come to terms with. They can't imagine why it would have been done, but the fact is that this is what has been done. And this is completely confirmed by anybody who actually takes the time to travel around the world and simply observes that which they see. Because quite literally none of what we see around the earth can be explained by the currently accepted academic narrative of history. When you look at all of this stuff, it becomes incredibly apparent that we're being set up. What is being presented to us as convenience is not really convenience. It's a smart prison system which is going to be monitoring everything we do. And the cities have been designed to contain the people within the cities. They make it very difficult for people to go and live outside of the cities. And what they're doing with our communication system as well is they're digitizing everything, as well as our monetary system, digitizing everything. And if you say anything outside the government agenda, say anything that isn't approved by the government or step outside the lines in any way, they can simply freeze your assets and you are stuck at that point. You have nowhere to go. The whole AI system we're being led into, all of our life skills being removed from us, everything that it means to be human is being removed from us, and we're being moved into this machine culture. And in order to stop it, all we really have to do is reconnect with our humanity. That's the thing. People in the modern world don't even want to look at this stuff. They think, well, if we're that far removed from what we were, then why even look at it? Because we're never going to get back. We might as well just go in the direction that we're going now. And they want to embrace this technology. It just seems to be something that people are really looking forward to. It's a strange thing, but I would suggest that the reason why people are looking forward to it and why people are embracing technology so much is because of that telepathic concept, that concept of connection they can get from it, because it's such a real concept. It's something that we take to like a fish to water, because it's something that we're able to do with our inner technology if we simply had access to this inner technology. That's why all this external technology seems so appealing to us, because it's second nature to us to have this communication, to have this connection to all that is. It's second nature for us. It's the way we're supposed to be. And it's been taken from us, and that's why we are attracted to it so much. We're attracted to the fake version of it so much, because we simply don't realize what's been stolen from us. And that's why we have such a hard time with our spiritual concepts and trying to find the path of spirituality, because we don't know the way, because it's never been shown to us, and we don't realize what's been stolen from us. And if you don't know what's been stolen from you, how do you ever know what it is that you're searching for? And this is a lot of what is wrong with a lot of the kids today, that they are missing the attention that they needed when they were children, because it was stolen from them, because their parents were stolen from them, because their parents were forced to work, and so they didn't really grow up with parents. They grew up with television as a parent, teaching them what to think and how to think. And so they never developed that real bond with their parents that they should have developed, and so they never really got the attention they deserved. And so now they go out and they spend their life on Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook trying to get likes, because they desperately want that attention that they never got when they were a child. And they don't even know that's what they're searching for, because they don't realize that's what was stolen from them. Human beings and human psychology is very, very complex, and it becomes easy to see how we create the reality that we are creating ourselves, simply by the way we are molded and the way we are trained to think. There's a real danger of that, even with this whole truth community and resistance and conspiracy culture. There's a real danger in it of training people to create the reality that the powers that believe they be want the people to create. We look at all of these things and we use them as pressure relief valves. It all becomes okay for us to do this. We see something happening in the world, something really bad, and we go, oh, well, we know that's the way it is, and we just carry on. We don't actually do anything about it. We know the politicians are corrupt, and we say, oh, yes, we just expect politicians to be liars, and we allow them to do it. It's just all okay. We just accept it. And we carry on with our lives because we think that's just the way it is. That's a lot of what this culture has to accept corruption all around us, and to believe that we can't do anything about it, to believe that these people are all powerful when they're not. They're just people. And very often they're people that we employ to manage infrastructure for us and act in a responsible manner, and they don't do it. And we continually allow ourselves to stay outside our moral compass rather than doing the right thing in all of these situations. This is something that I've addressed so many times on the air. If we were to simply stand in our moral compass and stand up and say, no, enough is enough, and realize that what we're dealing with here is just people, then we could change the world in a day. But we don't. We allow it all to continue, and we're just okay with it, and we just accept it, and we go back to work, and then we pretend nothing's going on. It's ridiculous, folks. If we were in our divinity, we would change things in a day. We would see a problem and we would say, well, we need to fix the problem. You don't petition someone and ask them if they will please do something about the problem. We fix the problem. But we don't do that. We just accept it, we move on, we be politically correct, and we don't want to rock the boat or say the wrong thing or make anyone think that we might be someone radical, or all of this programming that's been put into people. We're simply not in our divinity, folks. Everything about this system is designed to squash human divinity. Squash the divine feminine, squash the divine masculine, squash the whole thing, and get people to comply with rules which do not serve us. And all we have to do is step into our moral compass and change the world. Just say no. You ask questions, ladies and gentlemen. When we look at the past and look at all this stuff and look at where we're going, I mean, I don't know how anybody could accept this as being anything positive at all. And we don't want it. It doesn't serve us. It doesn't serve humanity. It doesn't help us. All it's going to do is support the psychopaths who are running the system. And this is the end game, folks. The smart system is the end game. And when you look at the society we had, look at what Tartaria was, and look at what we had on this earth, it becomes incredibly apparent just how far we've been led from what it means to be human and just what we are capable of. And it also becomes apparent just how easily we could change things, with a simple shift in perspective. And I guess that's what's so hard about it. That's why it's so difficult, because people don't want to shift their perspective. People don't want to think outside the box that they're trained to think in. They just want to support their preconceived notions of things. People don't want a real dose of reality, because it may mean they'd have to think about things. It may mean they have to actually take a little bit of responsibility for the situation the world is in. And unfortunately, people think to change the world, we're going to need this huge, big, violent revolution. When I don't really think that we do. I think we could change it by a simple change of perspective. I think we could change it in a day by simply changing the way we interact with the people around us. But nobody wants to do that. Everyone's looking for political remedy. And I don't know how anybody can look at this system and believe that there is any political remedy that will ever be found. The only remedy to this system is going to be human beings becoming human again, reconnecting with what it means to be human and putting that into practice in their everyday lives. And if we're not prepared to do that, then nothing is going to change, ladies and gentlemen.